What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Imperfect Action Show. I'm here with the amazing TEDx speaker, one of the best people that I came across recently this year that can get you to getting paid from speaking, getting paid from the stage. Mrs. Melissa D. White, welcome to the podcast.
Hey, what's going on, Brendan? Thanks for having me.
It's going well. It's going well. I remember meeting you a couple of months ago
Yeah,
and feeling a connection, feeling an impact, feeling an energy. And I know we talked about getting it done in person, which we still intend to do. But I'm super excited to have you on the virtual podcast. Tell a little bit about your story and how someone that can go from never speaking in front of people to getting paid from the stage.
absolutely. It's not impossible. And it's crazy to me that public speaking is the number one fear over death, but yet the best communicators always
Wow.
win. So,
Public
let's
speaking is
do
the
it.
number one fear over death.
Seriously, statistically,
Wow.
people are like definitely afraid of speaking.
All right, let
Um,
me let me ask you this real quick. Do
mhm.
you have any this might be cool for 2024. Do you have any branding that says that
No, I
the
mean
number
that's
one
not
fear
my
over death?
stat. That's like I'll get you the source of that. That's just
Yeah.
a known stat. I can't take credit for that, but that's true though.
What
Like
I mean, if
people,
you what if you gave me a business card and it said like it had your name on the front and all your stuff and everything, or maybe it was, let's say it was all black, all black business card, front
mhm.
black, back black,
Blackout. Okay.
blackout. It said the number one fear over death and it had a QR code and you handed it to me. You
Wow.
know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
yo, you heard it right here.
That's what
We
I'm
we like
talking
two
about.
minutes in and you coaching me up. I love this.
That's what because that's crazy right there. But anyway, we talk about that. So the number one fear over death. Why is it the number one fear over death? People are more afraid of public speaking than they are of
They're
taking their
terrified.
last breath.
They're terrified of it.
Mm,
I mean, I have my own theories on that.
yeah,
Some of that is like that's vulnerable, man.
yeah.
Like to be completely on the stage, all eyes on you. And it's a powerful position we can't take for granted, like whether it's your virtual stage right here or
Hmm.
a live stage, when your words go out to people like that, that's pretty powerful. Everybody
Mm,
can't handle that. But
yeah.
everybody should learn those tools because of where it gets you in life. So yeah.
Okay, so what made you conquer that fear? And how could let's hear about that first. How were you able to conquer public speaking and now taking it from the number one fear over death to probably down at the bottom for you? That's nothing for you now.
You know what? People assume that though, Brendan.
Mm,
Even my own clients. I've been so fortunate to be a public speaker. I started speaking at 15,
mm,
but that doesn't mean that the fear goes away. There's different levels.
yeah.
Like the fear I may have had at 15 years old at Toastmasters or talking to an auditorium of kids, and the fear versus going into a corporation or even speaking to over 500,000 people live in person. Like those are different levels. So I think at every level that you push yourself, like TEDx is a different kind of fear than say something else. I think you learn so much about yourself when you face and address like, okay, why is this fear different than the last time I did this?
Mm,
And I like to tell people you're only as good as your last speech. So I never let myself get so confident or cocky in my gift that I don't have a little bit of reverence for my gift. It's like, hey, let me respect this fear that I'm feeling right
yeah.
now, so I don't come in here slipping. Like I
Yeah.
don't care
Yeah.
how many times I speak, I got to stay on my game.
All right, it's cool. Okay, cool. So paint me this picture.
What's up?
Today is the 22nd of December.
Yeah.
Someone's watching this. They could be watching it live with us right now, or they could
Hmm.
be watching the never spoke before.
Hmm.
I've heard that I can get paid to speak. I would like to get paid to speak, to use my voice. I'm on a couch right now. It's a couple days before the new year, right? A couple days before Christmas, and we got that awkward week, right? So, how can somebody right now that's listening, that's watching this, what are some of the steps that they need to take to position themselves to, let's say, get a bag in the first quarter for speaking? And they never ever spoke before,
And never done it. I'm
never
so
done
glad
it
you
before.
asked me that
Yeah.
question. All right. Get your pen and
And
paper
then,
ready.
what are the different bag opportunities that they could get in that, you know?
Absolutely. Get your pen and paper ready because I'm gonna coach you up in this moment. So listen, coach you guys, let's go.
Yeah.
Number one, I want you in this moment to think about any time you've been at a conference or at an event or anywhere where you heard somebody speak and like, I could do that. Like, as a matter of fact, you probably know as much, if not more, than they know. You're an expert at it. And the only difference between you and that person is that they got up there and said it and you didn't.
Mm,
So the first thing to getting on that stage, if you've never done it, is believing that you're the expert. I'm not saying you know more than anybody in the world, but you're an expert of what you know.
mm.
So think about the thing you could talk about with ease, like it just flows out of you. You're excited. Start there and then look at speaking as teaching. If you
Mm.
can stand on the stage and just talk to someone and teach them, like podcasting is your jam, that's your thing. Like, hey, you don't need notes for that. You don't need slides for that. You can be yourself
Yeah.
because you've been in your podcast bag for a long time. So to anybody else, hey, your thing may be teaching, it may be parenting, it may be starting an online business. What's your thing that you do every day that nobody has to push you to do? And then I challenge you to go have a conversation with a room full of people about it. Notice I didn't say go speak. I said go have a
Mhm.
conversation with a room full
Conversation.
of
Yeah.
people. And so it's speaking is a conversation with a room full of people who need what you know. I'll say that again. Speaking is a conversation with a room full of people who need what you know. It's first thing. Second thing is, as a matter of fact, at the time that we're recording this, is December, it's the end of the year. This is the best month. Like year over year, this is my highest grossing month because companies have money left over. I specifically specialize in corporate speaking. I've spent
Mhm.
20 years in corporate America. So I very much understand like their business cycles, leadership conferences, education, training requirements. I worked in training for years and I understood like that would bring people in and I'm like, I know more than these people. Why is this happening? Like my company cut a check to them and I'm right here. So think about what you could teach right now and go ask them like, hey, do you have room left over in the budget to pay me next year to teach this? When's your leadership?
So who are they asking at that point?
HR directors,
So they need to
HR
make a
directors,
list. They need to make a list of
yeah,
companies or
absolutely,
something.
event planners. And
Okay.
like you said, if you've never done this, I could tell you a quick hack. Go over to LinkedIn and
Mm.
just search for event planners and HR directors. If that's your thing. Like if you're in that business world and you have like right now there's a high demand for leadership training. If you have a leadership message, motivational speakers
Mm.
because most companies do their leadership retreats in Q1. They're trying to rev everybody up for the beginning of the year. So they want to hear a motivational message. If you have a story that you've conquered something, they want to hear that stuff. Now, if you're more in your bag when it comes to like kids and youth speaking, that's a different cycle. But you can start after holidays because they're out right now. But towards the summer in August in that time frame, start reaching out to your kids' school, your nieces, your nephews, whatever. Like, hey, do you have any rallies or events coming up? Do you need somebody to come in and share a motivational message or something like that? So think about who needs to hear what you know and go have a conversation. That's the first place to start. Now, when it comes to the money, because you asked me specifically, how do they make money? First
Yeah.
thing is you have to
When it comes
believe.
to the bag.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people that speak, but they're speaking for free. And I've been there.
Hmm.
And some people devalue because they feel like, oh, I just started doing it, so I can't charge. That's a lie. That's not true.
So
It's a little
wait. So you're saying someone right now is watching this that never spoke before,
bit.
who's like, you know what? I'm great at talking about. Okay, let's stay with motivation. I'm good at motivating people. I never
Yeah,
did it before. I'm good at motivating people.
yeah.
Melissa telling me that I've never did this before. I
Hmm.
could go get paid for this thing right now, like in the next 30, 45 days. Someone can
Yeah.
cut me a check.
Hmm. So what you would do, a couple of things. You could go on Instagram and you follow the hashtag call for speakers. Target
Call for
call
FOR.
for, yep, for speakers. And
Yeah.
literally you'll see like conferences or companies that are putting out a request for speakers.
Mm.
And I do that on a daily basis. Like just how you generate leads, I go look for, call for speakers. You can do the same with Google alerts. You know, you turn on alerts for a search, do the
Hmm.
same thing, call for speakers or for motivational speakers, turn on alerts for that. And so anytime someone puts out, they do what you call a RFP or request for presenters, and it'll send it right to your inbox. You filter to the ones you want. It really is a numbers game. It's just like any other business.
Yeah.
Like when you reach out and you email and it really comes down to that. The other side is relationships. When I started, I simply started with companies and businesses and people I had relationships with already. Start there.
That's
Um,
good.
start there. Don't neglect. Like I call, this thing right here, this cell phone we have. I call it $1 million phone. We walk around with contacts in there all day long, right? Your $1 million phone. It's millions of dollars of contacts and ideas that stay trapped in our phone. Somebody in your phone right now will hire you today, but they just don't know that you want to get paid to do it.
So how do they go about that in terms of getting paid? Is there a certain way they need to ask for that? Is there certain like paperwork they need to have? And then like what type of range are we looking for like off the couch speakers? Like you,
Off
I'm
the
just
couch
I just
speakers.
I'm just off the couch.
Sure. I've seen like a lot of my clients, and even for myself, when I first really started charging for real and got serious about the business of speaking, not just
Yeah.
speaking, but I'm talking about the business of making money as a speaker. Virtually out the gate, $2,000 to $2,500 for an hour keynote or hour motivational session.
So
Just
so two you talking about 2 racks on a virtual
that's minimum
presentation?
starting out. Hmm.
So like okay, those that are watching right now, you're watching this virtually. So
Best
right now
part time job ever.
we're using Riverside right now, right? Melissa, are you at home or
I'm at
where
home.
you at?
I'm at
So
home.
Melissa's at home. I'm at home, right? So we're in 2 different states. We're using the software right now, very similar to Zoom, right? I
Hmm.
could even bring in, I could bring people in this format as well. So you're saying they could use Zoom,
Yeah.
make $2,000 wearing no pants with a really nice shirt, and then just give their gift. They can make 2,000 from the living room.
Yeah. The only difference between me and someone else is belief.
Mm.
It's the only difference. When you say like, well, how do I start making money and all that? I I've had clients come to me, they're like, I've been speaking, I haven't used a contract, I didn't think about any of it, just like on somebody's word and a handshake or whatever. Like I've seen so much. I've seen people make millions of dollars without it being perfect,
Yeah.
but they believed in what they were doing. And I was like, this is crazy. And Brendan, I have to be honest, I'm a bit of a recovering perfectionist. And I was one of those people, I gotta
You're
get it
you're
right. I gotta get
you're a recovering
I'm a
perfectionist.
recovering perfectionist.
Yeah, I
Because I
like
gotta
it.
get this right, I gotta get that right. And it's like, then I
Hmm.
started meeting millionaires who like were totally imperfect. Like it was like stuff was all out of whack. And I'm like, these people still making money. I was like, the only difference was they believed. And when I met
Yeah.
speakers, like I joined, the National Speakers Association. Like I got really serious about my craft. And when I started like getting in circles of speakers who were doing what I wanted to do, I better understood like, okay, what I use a very simple contract. And here's the thing: we live in an age now. You can go to YouTube and Google whatever. You can pull a contract. Like, if you can't hire an attorney, like, there's tons of people. You can talk to me. You can talk to
Yep.
anybody. Um, but when it comes to charging, it's all about what you believe and the value that you believe. I can't tell you to go out and tell them, hey, my starting rate is 10K starting a day if that's not what you believe.
Yes, I know.
But if
Yeah.
that's what you believe, then you go say, hey, here's how I quantify, because people are like, how in the world, how does somebody just make $10,000 in an hour speaking? Well, let me tell you how. I'm a numbers person when it comes to talking to companies, and I say, hey, where are you losing the most money with your teams? And they may say, hey, retention, turnover. I say, okay, so if I give a speech that helps you motivate and retain your employees and teach them a skill, what's that worth to you per person? Oh man, that'll reduce our turnover by X%. And it costs us maybe about $10,000 per person to recruit somebody new. Okay, great. And you got 100 people at this event. Yeah. Okay. So you mean to tell me you'll save $100,000 by me being there and motivating your team?
Mm-hmm. I see what you did. I see the little reverse engineer situation. You're like, yeah, that's about 10 bands. Mm-hmm. On the low end,
So
on the low end, it's easy for them to give it a 10. Yeah,
you have to
it's easy for
understand
them.
what
It's
people
easy for them to
value.
give it a 10 bands.
You have to understand what they value. Now, again, this is me assuming you're talking to a corporate audience. Let's say you're
Yeah,
talking to colleges, universities. What's the money maker for colleges and universities? Sports, and enrollment.
yeah,
So, and financial literacy is really big. Keeping students motivated. You have to understand people's pain point
that's
and
good.
solve a problem. Speakers solve problems. And so to be really good at it, you have to know the problem you solve and really deliver. Like, and this is what I tell people. I never go on call without practicing. It's like you have to be on your Jordan LeBron type game. Like I tell people speaking is a contact sport. You can't
Mm-hmm.
just don't get to the place where, man, I got this, I'm good. No, I never never go on cold. Like, know what you can deliver on without a doubt, without a question. And for me, because one, it was a natural gift, and two, it was a gift my mom knew to cultivate early in my life. She's like, this kid won't shut up. Either she's gonna be a lawyer or a speaker or something. And little did I know, my mom's time investment in the Toastmasters at 15 has put me here today. I was like, if I can't do nothing else, I can speak to a crowd, I can motivate teams, and I know speaking, and I know corporate America. But what do you know? Enough about me. What do you
Yeah.
know that you can do and deliver hands down every time?
Okay, cool. So let's fast forward a little bit,
Sure. What you
right?
got?
We got the first speaking gig.
Yep.
We made a let's say we made 1,000. Feeling good. It's January now, but Melissa done got me right.
Mm-hmm.
I got the content from the first speaking gig. I would like to
Say
get
that
more.
again. You
I
got the
got
what?
I got the content.
Say it for the people in the back. You got the
I got
what?
the content from the first speaking
If
gig.
if you don't get the content, it never happened.
Well, that's what did. I got the content. They send me a Google Drive. My
Mm-hmm.
Instagram ain't necessarily popping. What do I do with this content inside of the Google Drive that could help me secure the second speaking opportunity?
Mm. A couple of things. I'm so glad you brought that up about content. I have a cardinal rule about that. Like, yeah, when I started out, I wasn't hiring videographers to follow me to speaking engagements and stuff. It was me and my iPhone, and a little stand in the corner, whatever. Start where you are. Get the content. But you also have to know, where does your audience hang out? For me, my primary audience that hires me is on LinkedIn and YouTube. You could do a couple of different things with that. You could definitely repurpose the content
Mm,
into reels, into like the high moments, high energy moments. So if there was a moment when they were laughing, crying, clapping, whatever, that's golden. Like, take that nugget and you wanna blast that out. And remember, I told you about your phone, or just like your DMs. You don't have to have a lot of followers. I don't, even for me, I don't have tens of thousands of followers, but I have quality and I have people that are ready. You just need
mm.
people that are ready to work with you, and enough of them. And you send it to them like, hey, check out this clip of my recent event. I think your team would really enjoy this. Sometimes I just do that, and they're like, oh, and it's like it's a soft sell. It's not anything hard. Like, hey, I remember we had a conversation about this topic. Check out this clip. I thought about you with this conversation. I just learned to nurture conversations with people in my DMs, in my
Mm.
phone, in my email list, where they are. And so when they are ready and they do think of a speaker, I'm the first one they think of, because I'm
Yeah.
constantly in a relationship with them.
So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this Google Drive. I'm gonna chop it up into the clips. I'm gonna
Yep.
repurpose it on my
Yep.
socials, and
Yep.
then the spicy parts, the juicy parts. I'm building
Yep.
this relationship up, and I
Mhm.
am, sending it out to people, let them know either I'm thinking about them or just to continue to nurture their relationship.
Or like, hey, book me for your next engagement. Here's testimonials are big. That's a
Yeah.
cardinal rule. At during the event, I make sure I get at least 3 to 5 really good testimonials.
Yeah, I think you gave me one.
Yeah,
Because I was
I
yeah,
did. You were
yeah,
on it. Yeah, you did.
yeah,
You're like, hey, can you tell the people what you just said? I said, I got you. Because I
yeah,
understand, like, you know how, you and I are always talking about OPP, other people's platform, other people's
yeah.
podcast. Only thing better than that is what I call OPW, other people's words.
I like it.
I don't have to hype me up if Brendan says, "Hey, you need to work with Melissa. She was great. She motivated me today." That's valuable. And so you take clips of what the people are saying, and here's the first place I start with that clip though. I send it back to the people who hired me, and I
Mm.
said, "Here's what your team said."
Oh, that's good.
I know,
Yeah, that's good.
yeah. I
Yeah.
said, "Here's what your team said. I want to keep the momentum going. Let's take
What you got?
action and
What's
like,
next?
what's
Yeah.
next? Why not?
That's good.
I'd rather have retainer money
Mm-hmm.
and recurring money. They're like, oh well, we're doing something in the summer, like a whatever event or whatever. Oh, okay, cool. Um, and it becomes a package deal. You can package speaking just like any other product or service. I have
Mm.
some clients that say, hey, they'll lock me in on a retainer for 3 times a year. Beginning of the year, I'll do a follow up with the team in the middle, and we end the year off on an event or something like that. And all you need, when you have a handful of those, you're building something that's deeper than just the churn and burn of one time events and burning you out and traveling and all of that. I'd rather have some solid recurring clients than a bunch of one offs here and there.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, I mean, a little light bulb moment for people because maybe they may not have even considered that the same person that booked you, you can have them on a retainer type of situation
Mm-hmm.
with speaking, which sounds super interesting because, like you said, you can have 3 or 4 of those, even 2 or 3 of those, and
Mm-hmm.
be and have a nice little platform, have a nice little foundation that your speaking business is solidified
Mm-hmm.
on, and then obviously you build on top of that. But it's definitely good to have 2 or 3 reoccurring opportunities for you that are right
Absolutely.
there. So that's great. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. 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 Yep. A lot of times it's the same principles or the concept behind when you build funnels, the upsell, the
Mm.
downsell. It's the same thing. Same concept. Like, hey, if you hire me, you're gonna need a speaker again in the future. Or there's stacking that you can do. And honestly, speakers, your pay, if you're a TEDx speaker, if you've done live international stages, don't have doctor in front of your name. You could really, add to your
Run it
price.
up. Yeah.
Books, if you're published. A lot of times I tell people, sometimes companies may or may not have the budget, and I say, hey, great. Well, how many employees do you have? I'll give you a bundle rate to just purchase my books for everybody. So you still may come out the door with 5K or more just off of book sales alone. So you have
Yeah.
to
So you
kind
could
of
do it
think
on the back. So
creatively.
it's like on the back end.
Mm-hmm. You got it.
So you really saying you could get really creative with this?
Mm-hmm. You're very
Yeah.
creative. It's just
Yeah.
about,
So
like I
you
tell
get
people all the
really
time, you
creative with
can't
this.
just think like a speaker. You have to think like a business. You have to think like it's the business of speaking. You're running a business with the value of, there's no overhead. There's my
Mm.
full message. There's the time I'm perfecting my craft. Yes. But you really have to understand, bring to a room. But like I told you in the beginning, it's all about what you believe. What value do I believe I bring to this room, to this conversation with your people, virtual stage. You have to be 100%. Because if you're not, that not only hurts.
You still there? Then we have some small tech difficulties. Oh, okay, she's jumping back on. She's jumping back on. It's all have this. Hold on. Let's see. So she's gonna jump back on. It's all good. We'll just make the edits. No problem at all. So yeah, so as Melissa's getting it together, she's jumping back on. She's really giving you guys the tools that you need to really set up the opportunity to get a bag from speaking in 2024. And I think now's a great opportunity for you guys to utilize the idea of, you know what? These are the last 2 weeks. It gets really, really slow, like people are going home, traveling, they're in a car, train, bus, plane, whatever, right? They're going back home, they're taking breaks, vacations, everything's on a turn down. So while people are turning down, if this is something that you're looking to do, this is a good opportunity to position yourself to turn up as soon as January 1st comes. You could start positioning yourself right now. Actually, that's what you should do. Start positioning yourself right now. Like she said, hit up LinkedIn, go to Instagram, throw in that hashtag. You know what I mean? Use these different methods, these different opportunities for you to start lining up a list, right? And like she said, it's a numbers game, right? It's a numbers game on a list. So you're not always going to get the first person that you reach out to. But if you reach out to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 people, that's going to put you in an opportunity to continue to get, 10%, 20% of people booked. You know what I mean? Are you back?
I'm back. I'm with you.
You back, Ro? You back?
Yeah, I'm back.
No, I'll just warm them up. I'll just warm them up for you.
Okay, I came in hearing some math. What were you teaching the people?
Yeah. So all I was saying was, the last 2 weeks of the year, I was just myself to get a speaking opportunity, let's say in January, right? So I was saying, you gave some game on where to go on LinkedIn, you doing the hashtags on Instagram, put those lists together, and 10 people, 20 people, 30 people reach out to 100 people. Out of that, you're gonna get 10%, 20% of people to respond back. And then from there, you could start, hey, what are you looking for? Which I think is great. What's your team looking for? What's a message you guys would like to champion in for the new year? What are you looking for to make sure that you set it off? You set off this first quarter in a really high level, right? Great, because like you said, they're gonna let you know what they need. And then you can supply them with a speech tailored to that, which I think is. So I also had a thought about this, right? What if could you team up? Can somebody team up, right? So can somebody team up where it's like maybe they aren't the ones that's speaking. They're the one that's a little bit more out. They're the one that's a little bit more outgoing.
Okay.
But they know they have somebody in their camp, or friend, maybe a partner. They're the one with the dynamic voice. They're the one with the confidence. They're just not going to be the logistics and reach out person. Can I team up with them? I do all of the reach outs, all the logistics. I do all the booking, and then I have this going to come kill it on stage, virtually or in person. Then we break the bag down together. Can I do that?
Absolutely, you can. Love that you brought, because what that's called a speaker agent And there are those out there that do that. They essentially manage for you database that you need, and you're like, hey, I'm just getting started in this game, I need some help or whatever. And some are fee based, a monthly fee based, some do a percentage. I've worked with the full gamut to the point where I was able to kind of build it for my clients. And it's funny, before you mentioned that option, I was gonna just tell people, like, if you want to be a speaker, go hang around and tell them, like, hey, you know what, you connect with you. One of the fastest ways to get started, build a platform with somebody. Start like, hey, can we do a panel together? It's more than one way to speak than just being on stage. Sometimes you may pitch and it's 3 or 4 of you that have a piece and a comment, and that now you're tagging off each other's audience and building notoriety. That's another way to do it. I have speaker friends that are like, you know, they may be at a different tier than me or a different segment, and we refer business all the time. So like you said, referral, partnerships, and so mistakes I made, we're talking about perfect action, right? Like, if I got out of my head and thought that, well, being a speaker meant that I'm a solopreneur and it's just me, like, if I realized that 5 years earlier, I'd be so much further ahead. That there are speakers out there who are willing to partner, who are willing to share their stage. I'm personally one of those people. I like to build stages for other people. I get just as much joy and excitement out of, you know, hosting conferences, hosting events, and giving someone else a stage, because I understand that there's power and influence, not just in building my own, but yeah, let me put them on. Like, let me give them somewhere to shine, and they'll want to come back. They'll want to learn more. They want to.
I don't know how that happened. I'll put that on mute.
Community.
Yeah. They're trying to get on the pod.
It's big. And
they trying to jump on. They heard what you got going on. They trying to jump right on.
This is also, I'm so glad you asked this question.
Hey. I mean, listen, they want to know. So
live. It always happens like right when you live. But yeah,
but live is good.
I definitely. Sorry now. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah. So you were saying, you definitely would say.
Like I said, right now, the youth speakers who are already making money, expecting it for. Say it one more time.
Yeah. It cut out a little bit, but you said you were going to say.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Say one, speaking. Okay. Anybody can speak, even. And two, if you just want to put yourself out there. For years, up until 2 years ago, I was a speaker part-time while still working a full-time corporate job. So I would travel to conferences, use my PTO, work remote. Like, I knew what I had to do. I did it for years. So and that was how I built that momentum while I was still working. So, you know, you use what you have, and even through working. And again, I don't recommend everybody to do this, but for me, I was very honest. Like, I always told my boss, like, hey, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah, I have a business. I have these other things. And I would pitch myself to my bosses. I'm like, hey, do you want to hire me to do this, like, in addition to my job? And they're like, is she serious? I'm like, yeah. So sometimes, like, like,
that's good.
My first $10,000 speaking was from a company I already worked for and was going to check for, but I pitched myself because I saw them bringing other speakers in there.
I think that's smart. I mean, you right where the money's at, so you might as well ask for the money too. Why not?
They cut you a check every 2 weeks, so every month or whatever. Ask them. You're
Yeah.
right. What you know, it's just, again, that's that fear thing. We kicked off the conversation talking about fear. And man, if I'm not gonna say be fearless, understand how to redirect that fear and still do what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that.
people, my clients and my community, my friends are like, man, how do you just stand up there and talk to people like that? I probably have a whole fit before I turn this camera on. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then I hit the button, I'm like, okay, get over it, Melissa. Do like
You got
because
a
I
whole
wall of resistance.
you got a whole temper
A
tantrum.
lot of you.
Yeah.
We get scared. We have moments. We have days. I'm sure you're like, man, I ain't feeling today, but you have a commitment. Like you talk about that, with your podcast challenges, showing up. And podcasting is a stage. It is a virtual stage that reaches around the world, and it's evergreen. I have podcast episodes that people will still find me from an episode 2 years ago. I'm like, how did you? And I'll be at conferences speaking. That's the cool thing about podcasting as a speaker. Now they're connected to you when the conversation finishes in the room, and they're still having a conversation with you in a podcast.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a lot to it, but have fun with it, man. If you don't know what to do, just start showing up and talking to speakers and people who are doing what you desire to do, and start doing it.
Let them know, because I'm curious as well. What's your game plan for 2024 as a speaker? So like, what are you looking to take advantage of as we go into the new year?
Oh man, I get okay. But you what I'm 2020 thing that I wow. It's going on tour and building stages for other people. For me, we've lined 5 cities so far, and they're all places where I have a client base, people, executives, leaders that I've coached up to speak, and it's like that stage isn't even about me. I want to go create rooms for them.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I love to travel and I love to speak, and I put the two together. And I miss that. It's one thing for someone to hire me to come into their space. It's another one I can say, hey man, here's your stage. Go do your thing. And to go into them and pay them to do it, that's gonna be pretty incredible for next year.
Nah, that's great. I like that. I'm actually looking forward to see how that rolls out. Are you still in a position to take people that may want to work with you? What are the different ways they can work with you, and how can they work with you?
So the different ways you can work with me, yes, I'm in a position to take people to work with me. There are only 3 ways to work with me. Number 1, if you say, hey, Melissa, I really want to overcome this fear, I'm ready to make some speaker money along with some podcast money, you can join my mastermind group. You can either do 12 weeks or 12 months. We've had people in our accelerator program literally take these tools. I give you the speaker biz. We give you everything from contract templates, email templates, and coach you up on how to pitch yourself. And really build the back end and automate, like, using your systems to get speaking leads for you. But really finding your voice to do that, the confidence phase and then the business phase. So yeah, you can I'm Melissa D. White on all platforms. You can DM me the word speak on any one of those, YouTube, Instagram, wherever, or you can go to activationcoach.net. All the information is there. I also have a course. If you're like, not quite sure yet, I want to test drive this thing, that's cool. You can also go there, go to activationcoach.net/free course, and you'll get access to the back end. I literally give you a speaking business in that course. You get templates, you get community there, and that's a great place to start. So either way, just DM me the word speak and we can get started.
All right, so where can they find you if they want to continue a conversation with you, tackling with you off of this live, or if they're watching a podcast replay? Where do they go to have a conversation or book a call or something like that?
You can go to I'm Melissa D. White on every single platform. All of them. YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of it. Also, my website, you can go to melissadwhite.com, learn more, and check out some samples of my work and pretty much anything you pull up on how to do it. If you're really ready to go to the next level and have a sizzle reel on speaker, a speaker one sheet, and really perfect your pitch, I can help you with it.
All right, so before we get out of here, I want to give you the opportunity to also share anything that you want to share. It could be what's going on with what you have going on. Could be with the programs what's going on next year. It could be a message. If there's anything else that you would like to share with the people, this is your opportunity to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just want to encourage. I'm really thinking about a moment ago. You said, "Hey, Melissa, we're talking to people who've never done this before." If you have watched this far, then clearly it's time for you. The case, you're like, I don't know where it is. I encourage you to connect with somebody, to borrow their confidence and until you can build up your own. Again, people make resolutions all the time. It won't be perfect. It's called imperfect action. Take action on it, because don't get into next year made speaking money knowing you could have done it, and don't go to another conference sitting in the audience when you need to be the one on the stage.
I like that.
Yeah, I just want to encourage and talk to those people. I really want to do this. I really felt that when you said it, that somebody's going to see this, and I'm playing with my confidence and I'm playing with my gifts. And again, I really encourage you to sign up for the course. I think that's a great way to get some tools in your hand. I've had people, it depends on your execution. Let me say this too, Brendan. I don't care what course you take, what coach you sign with, it's all about your execution. Commit to executing on, I gave you like just tons of game today. If you even just take this podcast, I've had 2 hours and go make doing those 3 or 4 things. But the only difference again is belief and execution. So again, if you're serious, stop watching other people and start building your own. That's all I say about that.
I like it. I like it. So this has been great. I had an amazing time connected with you here. I'm looking forward to the in-person, because I know the in-person gonna be super spicy. So next time I'm in Atlanta, I'll definitely let you know so we can get that going. Make sure that you guys check out Melissa D. White on all platforms, especially Instagram. If you need to jump in there and have a quick conversation, now's probably the time for you to book a call, sign up for something, or at least, if you have any other questions that you didn't get the opportunity to get an answer from, you can answer that directly on Instagram. So this has been another episode of the Imperfect Action Show. I'm Brendan Boyd. That's Melissa D. White. We'll see you guys on the next one.